The difference between my courses. You may have noticed I have another course besides this one you're watching. I know you may be wondering what's the difference between them since both have web design and Photoshop as the main subjects. Look no further, I'm going to explain. First one is this. Are they the same course? The answer is no. The content is very much different, as you'll soon find out how and why. I'd say they share around 10% of the content, if not less. So Master Web Design in Photoshop is not an updated version of this course, and it's not the same material under a different name. More about it soon. Next, which one should I start with? Either one is fine really, but you can make up your mind by finding out the differences between them, which I'll cover in just a few moments. If you really want a definitive answer, you can start with Learn Photoshop, Web Design and Profitable Freelancing. I'd say this one because it's more focused on making money. You probably want to earn at least a few $1,000s before you take your learning further. But this is just a suggestion. It's really a coin flip between the two. Both have their strong points and their drawbacks. Does it matter what Photoshop version I have? No, it doesn't. You need Photoshop CS4 at the minimum for both courses. I have another video that explains why it's not an important concern, so please watch that if you want more info about Photoshop version comparisons. How is the content different? Learn Photoshop, Web Design and Profitable Freelancing is aimed towards working on sites like 99 Designs, Crowdspring.com, or any other platform that involves a design contest. What's a design contest? Well, it's simple. A client posts a brief containing his thoughts about how the website should look. He sets up a prize for the winner. Usually it starts from $475 per one page, but it can go up to $1,000 to $3,000 for a homepage. Then creatives from all over the world submit their designs, and then the client chooses the best one in his eyes. Designers can only see their entries, so you can't steal any ideas. Also, clients more often than not don't pick the first entry. They usually want changes and adjustments, so this means there's a lot of back and forth. That's a design contest, and it lasts from a few days to around 3 to 4 weeks at the most. So the first course is focused on making you understand how to win these contests. Its main goal is to get you to earn money from your work as fast as possible, so it's very practical in nature. Of course, you will learn the Photoshop, a lot of concepts about web design, but the goal isn't to make you a world-class designer. Instead, it teaches you how you can create a stable income of $1,000 to $4,000 per month. How do you do that? Well, in a nutshell, you'll find out how to select the best contests, identify those that have the least amount of competition. You'll be taught how to decode the client's brief and wishes. You'll learn how to communicate effectively and make a good impression. You'll set yourself up to get additional work after the initial homepage or first few pages. All this and much more is covered in the course. Again, it's very practical, down to earth, and it covers certain scenarios you will encounter on these sites. The same skills can be applied to other platforms like Fiverr.com, Elance, Freelancer.com and so on, even though these aren't covered specifically. I find most people are drawn to this course because it produces solid results. There's lots of students who have watched the course and have already won contests after a few weeks of work. It's very beginner-friendly, and it doesn't require any previous experience. The content is progressive, so you'll start from basics things, and then you'll escalate to more advanced topics. On the other hand, Master Web Design in Photoshop isn't about making money immediately. It's about raising your skills to another level. While the first course covers certain scenarios you encounter on design contest platforms, this one is more about design knowledge, web design principles, understanding how to think and work efficiently, refocusing your energy, and so on. This doesn't mean it's a bunch of boring theory, far from it. You actually learn by going through case studies, by performing various exercises, and by solving quizzes. The goal is to educate you about the current state of web design and set up a mindset that will allow you to constantly improve your skills. It also features the newest version of Photoshop and the latest trends like flat design. We also create 2 homepages from scratch, several icons, and a custom graphic. The goodies included are amazing too. You will have lots of super high-quality templates, user interfaces, mock-ups, icons, and various website elements. These are much better than the freebies from the first course, but it makes sense why. They're newer and they're created by using the newest techniques. Another point in Master Web Design in Photoshop is the audio and video quality. You'll hear me, Mark, throughout the entire course. Chris, the author of the course, will be heard on the introduction, and that's about it. The rest of the course will be narrated by me, which ensures you'll get perfect clarity at all times. Also, all the videos are recorded at 1920 by 1080, so you'll have a crystal clear image. Master Web Design in Photoshop takes you from charging $500 for a few pages to asking $5,000 for the same amount of work. It's set up in a way where you'll understand what exactly you need to do each and every day to constantly get better. This means your designs will improve considerably, and your bank account will grow accordingly. The first course taught you how to win money, and that's great, but a lot of the times the client doesn't choose the best design because obviously he isn't a specialist in the field. So this is a subtle distinction you have to make. You can win lots of design contests even though you aren't an amazing designer. You can be fairly good and still win lots of money. That's the first course in a super simplistic nutshell. Master Web Design in Photoshop will teach you how to create beautiful, stunning designs. It's not so much about the money because that will inevitably come if your designs are great. It makes sense. This means we don't have to cut any corners and we can focus on the craft itself. It's a big yet subtle difference. The best way to understand it is to watch them both. This course does require a basic understanding of Photoshop. So you have to know the tools, some of the hotkeys, some of the principles, but nothing special. A beginner won't feel overwhelmed due to the progressive nature of the content, so don't worry about it. Okay, I could go on and on about the differences between them, but really, all pride aside, both are great courses that will teach you tons of things. What I hope you will find is that you get way more than what you paid for. Both courses took a very long time to create because they're chocked full of the most relevant, useful knowledge out there. And more importantly, nothing is held back. I share everything I know, all my secrets and personal techniques. For that reason, I recommend you watch both courses. Again, for more of a schematic comparison, go to thislooksgreat.net/Photoshop-training for an overview. Have fun!